I stood up against my brother's misogyny at my own wedding. 6 months later, my Sil left him and my parents finally saw the truth. I, 29F, got married last month to my husband Daniel, 31M. We've been together for 5 years, having met at a mutual friend's barbecue. I remember that day so clearly. I was helping set up the food table when Daniel offered to lend a hand. We got talking about our shared love of obscure 80s movies, and the rest, as they say, is history. Our relationship hasn't always been smooth sailing. We've had our fair share of arguments and disagreements, especially in the early days when we were still figuring each other out. But we've always managed to work through our issues with open communication and mutual respect. That's why, when Daniel proposed 2 years ago during a hike to our favorite scenic overlook, I didn't hesitate to say yes. We've spent over a year planning our wedding. I'm not usually one for big, elaborate events, but I wanted this day to be special. We chose a beautiful rustic venue, a converted barn with strings of fairy lights and wildflower centerpieces. It was a perfect blend of elegance and casual charm, just like us. We invited about 150 guests, a mix of family, friends, and co-workers. I was especially excited for my colleagues to meet my family. I've worked hard to build my career as a software engineer, and I'm proud of where I am today. It hasn't always been easy, especially being a woman in a male-dominated field, but I've persevered and earned the respect of my peers. The day of the wedding arrived, and everything was going perfectly. I felt like a princess in my dress, a simple, elegant gown with lace detailing that I'd fallen in love with the moment I tried it on. Daniel looked incredibly handsome in his tailored suit. When we saw each other at the end of the aisle, I felt my heart skip a beat, just like it did on our first date. The ceremony was beautiful. We wrote our own vows, and I'll never forget the look in Daniel's eyes as he promised to support me in all my dreams and aspirations. After the ceremony, we took what felt like a million photos with our families and the wedding party. My cheeks were sore from smiling so much, but I didn't care. The reception started off great. The caterers outdid themselves with a spread that catered to everyone's tastes and dietary needs. Daniel and I had our first dance to our song, the cheesy 80s ballad that was playing when we first kissed. Then we cut the cake together, playfully smearing a bit of frosting on each other's noses for the cameras. Then it was time for the toasts. My maid of honor, my best friend since college, gave a heartwarming speech about our friendship, and how happy she was to see me find someone who truly understood and supported me. Daniel's best man told some hilarious stories from their days as roommates, careful to keep things PG for the older relatives in attendance. My parents both said a few words. My mom got a bit teary-eyed as she welcomed Daniel to the family, and my dad made a corny joke about finally having someone to watch football with. It was all going so well. Finally, it was my brother Alex's, 33M, turn to give a toast. I felt a nut form in my stomach. Alex and I have had a complicated relationship for years. Growing up, we were close,